Okay, so this is for the ACT English and the SAT Writing. Pretty much the same test. They differ a little bit in length, but the process to prepare is the same. Okay. I'm going to be explaining things that are going to be different from your teachers. I want you to listen to your teachers in every other situation, but when it comes to this test, you're going to listen to me. If you really dig down into it, I don't actually contradict for technical reasons, but if you do find that I am contradicting them, listen to me on the test, okay? Out of pretty much all of the tests, this test is tricky, okay? You can miss a lot of questions even if you know all of the rules, all of the grammar rules. You can also get a lot of things right if you know test strategy and don't know the grammar rules. There's a lot of logic that goes into this test. It's kind of a puzzle, okay? So we got to think about that stuff. I am going to be going over stuff in here, and then I'm academic content, right? Then I'm going to be presenting it to you as you've seen it as you will see it on the test. And I'm also going to give a lot of context about how they will trick you. I don't have Jamboards for this. I have this document. This document has been with me for years. I've shared it with hundreds of students, and essentially this document works best if I talk you through it. You can absolutely, so you'll have a link to it, so you can grab it. You can save as, and as we're going through this, you can make your own notes, okay? Like, you can't edit my copy, but you can make your own notes and then edit your own copy, okay? All right. Now, a little bit of the test, maybe one question, maybe two, will be the perfected tense or the subjunctive tense. So about 30% will be rhetorical questions, and when I say rhetorical questions, I don't mean like ones you don't answer. I mean questions like how we put certain things in a certain order, whether to use a word, whether to not use a word, stuff like that. Okay, the rhetoric. About 40% will be grammar, and about 60% will be parallelism and agreement. Now, that clearly adds up to more than 100%. Yes, you're right. If you notice that, a lot of questions ask more than one thing. Okay? All right. So what's the perfected tense? It's when we put have in front of a verb, like having, had, and it can be in any tense. It can be in progressive tense even like by this time next month you will have improved your SAT score. Okay. Having, had. Anytime you put have or had in front of something, it means it has been completed in the past by the time you're talking about it. Okay. We're not going to go into great detail about that because it sounds different. When things sound different than other choices, you can trust your ear. For the most part, when things sound different, you can trust your ear. So if your teacher told you to trust your ear, I'm going to say that's not a universal thing. Only trust your ear is if the answers sound different. Like if you were to say them out loud, obviously you can't do that in the test, but read them in your head. They sound different, then you can trust your ear. And the perfective tense just is different. You know, has completed, had completed, have completed, okay? For that reason, you can trust your ear, okay? The subjunctive tense is the same thing. So what's a subjunctive tense? Is he dance ever right? You would probably say no, it should be he dances, present tense. True. But what if I said, why doesn't he dance? Oops. Okay, so the subjunctive tense indicates hopes, regrets, and dreams. Woulda, coulda, shouldas. Okay? It's a tense that denotes things that are not reality, but also not lies. Okay? Why doesn't he dance? I wish that he would dance. Okay? The thing is, it didn't sound right when I said he danced, right? That didn't sound right. But when I said, why doesn't he dance? It probably did sound right. And for that reason, you can also trust your ear for subjunctive tense. We're not going to go into the conjugation of the subjunctive tense. What I'm telling you is don't talk yourself out of it. So if you happen to be reading and you'll be like, that says he danced, and this is the present tense. It should be he dances, but that just doesn't sound right. I want you to think, what did Lydia say? Lydia said that if it's a subjunctive tense, I can trust my ear. Okay? I can tell you the subjunctive tense real quick. When we work in the subjunctive tense, we use the root, I think it's called. It's basically the verb without the infinitive verb. You just drop the to. So the affirmative is to dance. You just drop the to, and so that's what you're going to use. It's not the present tense. It sounds like it might be the present tense, but it's just the basic form of the verb without the to. Except for were. You always say were. You would never say was. Always if I were to, if you were to, if they were to, if she were to. Okay? You're always going to say were. Okay? So the vast majority of the time, your ear knows conjugations for, this should be not progressive, this should be perfected, for the perfected and subjunctive tenses. Okay? I only tell you about them so you don't talk yourself out of them and trust your ear. Okay, so this, if it's in like regular font, then it's kind of like academic content. If it's italicized, that's like me contextualizing. That's me coaching, right? This is like me helping you get better. So this is like facts. This is like the stuff that Lydia says. All right? Okay, so that's how you use this, and that is trust your ear. When you trust your ear, when things are different, when they sound different, don't trust your ear when they sound the same. So when they sound the same, we call those homophones for words. I'm going to expand that concept. So I'm going to say use the word homophones for things that sound alike, even if they're not words. Like, for example, periods and semicolons. They sound alike. The S at the end of words, like we could say dances or dance. No, we could say dances, he dances. We could say dances. I'd go to more than one. I'm going to go to many dances this summer. The dances DJ. Okay, so those all sound alike, right? But those are homophones, okay? So that's what we mean by homophones, okay? For this context, homophones mean anything that sounds alike, not just words that sound alike.